I've mentioned my good friend Joey in the past before. We've been friends for I think 5 years now. Maybe longer, I don't know. But the point is, we've known each other for a while. And me being an artist had the bright idea to design a persona for him because he deserves it. So join me today as I create a persona for him. Because this is for someone else, I take the design process a bit more seriously. If I did something for myself, I sort of just do it. So, to start this off for Joey, the first thing I did was ask him about what he wanted on his persona. Since it's for him, it's very important to me that I get his input. He left things pretty vague so I can have full creative freedom though. But the main things were that he wanted sort of a side part hairstyle for his persona. Think similar to Eunho from Plav. And then some ear piercings. I gave him the option to go more crazy and add fantasy elements to his persona, since, some people like to have animal ears or other features, for example. He told me he wanted to go the more human, realistic route with it, so that's what I did. After I got his requests, I began sketching. I started out with 4 initial sketches of a design. For myself, I skipped this step entirely and just designed on the spot. But again, since this is for someone else, I have to draw out my ideas. They can't read my mind. I wanted to experiment with both the hair and clothing. I already had a good idea on the vibes and facial features for this persona, so just the hair and clothes needed to be designed. I took inspiration from Eunho's hair for this, but of course, you never want to directly copy something. So I did my best to create something a bit different. I had 2 straight hairstyles for this. My first hairstyle I created was sort of close to my inspiration. The second one was a bit plain, but I could always fix a plain hairstyle with color. I'll talk more about color when we get to that section. Then I thought it'd be really fun to have a wavy hairstyle with this side part, so that's what the last 2 styles are. I don't often draw wavy hair in general. I definitely need to work on bringing more variety to my drawings. I'm not even going to deny that I usually draw pale-skinned, straight hair characters. But of course, it's nice to draw something other than that. You always have things you like drawing, but it never hurts to draw outside of the ordinary. And that was what I liked about doing this. I think doing this for Joey definitely got me to draw more of a variety in things. After figuring out hair, I had to design clothes. I didn't get a direction for clothes. Joey didn't give me a specific aesthetic, probably because he trusted me to come up with something that's good with full creative control. So that's why the outfits definitely seem all over the place. I will say that when it comes to designing clothing for male characters, I actually have a hard time, which might seem so strange to everyone because I'm pretty sure all anyone has ever seen me draw are men, with the occasional woman. But male hairstyles and clothing are challenging for me. It's very easy for me to go into same hair and same clothes syndrome. I don't know if that's a thing, but it's my thing now. With women, I'm not afraid to push the limits, but with men, I tend to be a bit more restrained. Definitely an area I need to work on as an artist, but it'll come with time. For the clothes, I decided I was going to give Joey's persona a cool vibe, because well, to me he's a very cool, chill kind of guy. I referenced that tech aesthetic for the first outfit. The second outfit, I don't know what I was doing in all honesty, but he sort of looks ready to kick someone's butt with that second outfit. The third outfit is more realistic and plain. It's always nice to have a simple option. Then the last outfit is probably just a slightly more extra version of outfit 3. Now, once I finished the initial designs, I sent them over to Joey to pick between them. Here's a better look at the initial designs I ended up with. So because of the amount of experimenting I did, I told him if he liked the hair on one design and an outfit on another, we can always mix and match them. That's always an option if I was extremely experimental with the hair. If he wanted more designs that went in a specific direction, I'd be more than happy to cook something up for him. He was actually pretty satisfied with these initial designs though, so I didn't have to design another batch for him. He told me he liked the hairstyle on the third design and the outfit on the first design, so the final base design was going to be a combination of the 2 of them. After designing the base design, the next thing I do is a color concept. I take the sketch and color under it with flat colors. I have minimal shading though so we can properly see the colors. There wasn't a specific direction for the colors, which meant I absolutely had free reign. So I definitely experimented a good amount. With the hair, I could always go for more natural, but there's room for a crazy color too. So I had black with a mint streak because I don't know, that seemed cool to me. then a blonde swatch because I find that having bright hair next to dark skin just looks absolutely amazing most of the time in design. Then I went with 2 unnatural hair colors, a greenish color and then red. I could have done pink, but red was cool. So those were the hair colors. I did try to match the outfit colors to the hair a bit. Like, I didn't want them to clash too much, but I'm not going to lie, I did go crazy with this. I really was splashing color everywhere. But your initial things you make aren't always going to be cohesive and good. I can't tell you guys what my thought process was for the clothes. I sort of just did it. But for the last outfit, I knew I wanted to hold back on the color just a little bit. I opted for grays with just purple accent colors. Oh, and obviously I gave different eye colors for each design too, just to have options. The color concepts always go by really fast, so it wasn't long before I had the first round of concepts done. This is a better look at the color concepts I finished. They're sort of all over the place, and once again, if Joey wanted to, he could always tell me what direction he'd like me to take. But once again, I didn't have to make a second round of concepts because he really vibed with the colors for number 4. I double checked to make sure it was everything he liked with concept 4. I was like, and that includes the hair, right? Because again, we can always mix and match parts of the concepts for something final. He confirmed that the hair color was okay too with the outfit, so that's the design pretty much done. I could have ended the video there, but nope. The final thing I was going to do for Joey was create a reference sheet for his persona. That way, if he wants to draw his persona himself, or someone else wants to make fan art of it, they'll have a reference. While I am going to show the reference in my video, I won't post it on my Instagram or other socials. It's up to him if he wants to post it there himself. Now, I haven't drawn a reference sheet in months, and to be fair, I don't draw them often. It's always a little rough with me trying to make them, but it's very satisfying to see it all come together. I'm not a very popular creator yet, so I don't receive much fan art for my muses, but if I ever get popular in the future, I think me releasing reference sheets of my muses will really help. Okay, but back to creating the reference sheet for Joey's persona. I don't think the design I created for him was too complicated. A lot of the time when you're making a reference sheet, you want a full body so people can see all of the details. So a more detailed design means more work. It's not like the design I made was plain though. I still had to put a good amount of effort. Compared to all of my other reference sheets I've made in the past, I think this one would be near the middle in terms of pain. It'd be so funny if I made a tier list of all of the reference sheets I've ever made in my life and just ranked them. Future video idea? When I have an ungodly amount of reference sheets though. I don't think I'm at that point yet. Give me a few months and some inspiration and maybe. Okay, but back to commenting on the speed paint. As usual, I had to do line art and I hate it. Sometimes I wonder why I make myself do line art when I have a sketch, until I remembered 9 out of 10 times my sketches are sometimes unreadable in a lot of parts. In this instance though, it was clear. But consistency. I've given my other reference sheets clean lines, so I shall give this one the same treatment. Especially because this is for a friend and he deserves the best, okay? As much as I hate on line art, when it comes to reference sheets, it's not as bad. So as you can see in the speed paint, I do the full front body line art, then I duplicate and flip it for the back. The line art for the close-up shots in the reference sheets are generally easy for me. I just find the line art really boring and tedious most of the time though. But when it's finally done, it feels amazing. I can tolerate doing flat colors and then eventual shading later. And if I had to figure out which one I liked more between the two, it depends on the situation. Is there metal to shade? If so, flat colors. But if there are complicated patterns that I have to draw into the flat colors, it's shading. And if I have to deal with both because some designs I've made have that, it'll probably be flat colors simply because shading clothes is so boring. Okay, so I sound like a hater for the process. But I mean, when it all comes together in the end, it's all worth it. Like I said earlier, this reference sheet wasn't that difficult to do. I actually enjoyed watching it come together because I know it'll be something great to give to a friend. I think I like doing art more because of the feeling of the final product rather than the entire process. If that even makes sense. I don't know. I just ramble a lot of nonsense sometimes. Not sure how people even deal with my yapping, but hey, I'm grateful you're still watching the video if you've made it this far. Doing the flat colors for this didn't take that long, luckily. There were no complicated patterns. At most, I gave stripes and blocks of color on the jacket. I decided I'll draw the stripes into the flat colors rather than line them out in line art. I felt like it looked better like that. I don't know what makes me decide to either draw patterns into the flat colors or line art. Maybe it just depends on my mood or something. For more complicated designs, I tend to just draw it onto the flat colors though. Simpler designs can go either way. I do love drawing complicated designs on the initial piece for a muse, because usually the first time around, you just freehand it and it's all fun. But then if you have to keep drawing it, then it's painful. Sometimes the most complicated designs get turned into PNGs for me to paste on future drawings and mess around with. Young Sing's tattoo I made is like that. I swear, if I had to draw that thing over and over again, he would not be one of the muses I always draw. I actually asked Joey if he'd like tattoos or anything else on this design, and he only said a mole on the right corner of his eye. And if you're wondering what I refer to as right or left, it's going to be the character's right and left, not mine. It's probably confusing to some people, or maybe not, who knows. Alright, so in the speed paint, we're now shading. Shading this wasn't too bad, mainly because there were only a few pieces of metal here, just in the piercings, which I made sure I put down since that was one of the things Joey requested. Then there's a buckle on this belt thing. I don't normally go overly detailed with how I shade the clothes, but maybe I should. I'm gonna be so for real here when I say I'm kind of lazy when it comes to clothing. You'll see this later, but I absolutely forgot to shade the shoes because I was just being lazy. And then I had to shade the shoes off camera. I double check with anything else, but the clothes? Yeah, if I don't have the energy and I don't see it, it's not getting done. But of course, I wasn't going to slack off on a reference sheet I'm giving to someone. If I am making art to give to someone, you best believe I will put a lot of effort into it. Usually I want to make art for my friends. I mean, they're my friends after all. Maybe the next time I do it, it'll be another video. Depends on what the friend is thinking. And yes, I did get permission from Joey to make this a video, so don't worry. Alright, so the speed paint is wrapping up now. This was definitely very fun to make, and I'm glad I did it. Maybe in a few months, if Joey wants, I'll make an outfit reference sheet for his persona. But we're starting off simple for now. Here is the final reference sheet. When I sent it to him, he loved it, which I'm glad he does. Anyways, thank you so much for watching until the end. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate a like and subscribe. Maybe I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, bye!